Christine Harper is a certified associate in project management, a certified coach with the John Maxwell team with 30 years of experience of IT sales and management. Christine has collaborated with Powerhouse Motivations to develop the Aspiring Speakers program to help individuals share their story with clarity and confidence. Christine teaches others how to empower themselves to live the life they desire. She was born in Brooklyn, New York, and currently resides in Inglewood, California. Today, Christine will share tips and techniques that every aspiring speaker has to work on before they bring their message to the stage, getting clear and concise. Put your hands together for Christine Harper.
Greetings, I'm Christine Harper, and I'm so glad to be here with you today at this BossUp Summit. So, you came here because you want to lift yourself up a little bit, or maybe get some tips or new skills. You want to hear what other women are doing to boss up their life and improve their businesses. Well, for the next 20 minutes or so, my intention is to share with you some specific tips and techniques that professional speakers use to present their message in a clear and concise way. So take a deep breath and say with me, I am clear and concise. I am clear and concise. You know, whatever you attach your I am statement to is going to be reinforced in your own head. And that's important because sometimes we wake up and we are full of clutter, we are full of confusion. We've been listening to somebody give us negative feedback and we're befuddled. And you have to get clear. You have to get clear in your own head. You've heard other people talk about mindset reset, and that is a real thing. You have to clear your mind first in order to reset and come in with the concepts and ideas that are going to lift you up and allow you to go forward and share your message. So, as I've mentioned, I've been a corporate trainer, a manager, and during those 25 years in that corporate world, I've listened to thousands of professional presentations. No exaggeration, thousands. Some of them were excellent and some not so good. And I always wondered what made one salesperson so good and another so mediocre. Because I don't want to say that anyone, there were a couple that you could say were bad, but in general, people are good and want to do better at their craft, but some were just on point. And then I looked at the professional public speakers, the motivational speakers, the ones that we all see online or on television. And I noticed the same things. They all had skills or used certain principles that made them on point every time. So today I want to share some of those tips with you. The first of Christine's 5 tips to improve your public speaking is they came to hear you. Now, one of my colleagues told me that when I was first starting out at the briefing center in New York, I was getting ready to introduce a new product and the room was full of people, maybe 50 or 60 people. And I got a little anxious. And my coworker said, take a deep breath, calm down. Remember, they came to hear you. The information that you're about to share is going to help them do their jobs better. So go in there and be a success. Go in there and own the room. You didn't come to hear them. They came to hear you. Squared up my shoulders and walked on in there and did the thing. So I noticed that other professional presenters, they do the same thing. They realize that they are the star in that moment and they come out with confidence. Second tip, brush your hair. I think we've all seen people who come out in public and they just don't look right. Did you consider what you look like before you came out of the house? In the 80s, we used to have to dress up with suits and little bow ties in order to be considered professional. Then we went to casual Fridays where we were actually allowed to wear pantsuits to work. Next thing you know, you started hearing this term business casual. Then you could come to work looking clean and crisp, but not necessarily in a suit and tie. Business casual was the term of the day. Well, now we've gone all the way because most people are working at home, and we've come to the point where loungewear is the word of the day. If you are getting ready to make a professional presentation or to talk to potential clients, don't wear loungewear. You may feel comfortable in it, but it does not present an image of professionalism. It does not present an image of being clear and concise because you're just a little too comfortable. So I use the term brush your hair, but you can see that it encompasses a full plate of how you want to present yourself, what image you are presenting to the world. And this is an image of your business. So I would take it seriously. So remember, they came to hear you and brush your hair. The third tip that professional speakers employ in order to make themselves stay on top of their game is slow down. Now, I noticed this because I'm originally from New York, and everybody in New York moves fast. We talk fast. We walk to the subway fast. Everything is fast because you got to get it done. Well, throughout the entire United States, throughout the world, that is not necessarily how things are handled. So slow down. You're not sure, especially in the beginning when you're meeting potential clients, you're not sure what their background is, and you want to slow down enough so that they understand what you're presenting. You don't have to talk as slowly as I'm talking sometimes when I want to emphasize a point, but you want to develop a pace that is uniquely yours. Sometimes you'll raise your voice to give emphasis, and sometimes you'll soften your tone. But the point is, slow down, mix it up, learn what pace is effective in conveying your message. That's what's going to make things clear and concise for the audience. So slow down. The next tip we've all heard, but I think too many people try to wing it and do their own thing. They think they know better. The next tip is to simply rehearse. And I say simply rehearse because in the rehearsal process, you will learn what works and what is choppy. Sometimes when we are writing out our presentation or writing our speech, we use complicated words and phrases. A person who is reading a document can turn back a page, can really rethink or re-examine what they've just read. But when someone is listening to you speak, that is not an option. So you want to make sure when you are writing your speech for a presentation, make sure that you're using simple words, simple phrases. Learn how to string those phrases together so that your message is conveyed, but it's not something that your audience has to sit there and pull out their phone and Google the term. You've probably had someone, and if you haven't, you will, had someone say to you at some point, wait a minute, explain that to me like I'm a 5-year-old. Well, what that really means is they didn't get it when you first presented it. So they want you to break it down. They want you to use simpler terms, simpler words to convey your message. And in the rehearsal process, you will discover that Michael Jordan didn't get to the championship, didn't get multiple championships by making one jump shot at the buzzer. He made thousands of jump shots in practice till he got it right, or till he felt so comfortable with it that he could go out and deliver come game time. And that's what we have to do. That's what each of us has to do. This is not, these 5 tips aren't magic bullets. They are things that you have to rehearse yourself. You have to apply over and over each time you're about to deliver a presentation. Make a little checklist in your head and say, oh, am I going too fast? Do I look the way I want to look? They came to hear me. Am I ready? Am I rehearsed enough that demonstrates I respect the fact that they came to hear me and I'm going to deliver something that is going to be helpful to them? These are questions that professional presenters ask themselves each time they go out to speak. And they make adjustments if they have to. They tweak. In the rehearsal process, very few people try to memorize their speech word for word. That will get you into trouble because undoubtedly, you'll have a word that just doesn't flow correctly and you get a little tangled up. And when you get tangled up, sometimes it's hard to get out. And if you've rehearsed your speech to the point of memorization, you frustrate yourself because I can't remember the next line. And very few times someone is there to feed it to you, unless you're an actor. So rehearse your speech, rehearse your presentation, become comfortable with the flow of what points you want to make, where you might want to add levity, where you know you have to raise your voice, or you have to use your hands for expression. Okay, got that? Good. The 5th and final tip that I want to share with you to improve your public speaking is that remember to smile. Smiling indicates that you are comfortable. And if you are comfortable with your material, comfortable with who you are, you can be comfortable with sharing this message. And when you are comfortable, you can present it in a clear and concise way. You don't need to continue to stumble over words. You don't need to continue to add to a story in order to make a point. Let's net it out. Let's give them what they came to hear. Let's ask for the order. Let's be very clear and be concise in what it is you have to share. Now, I use the term smile, but it could also be use gestures. That also encompasses look very serious. If you're presenting a serious topic, if you're talking about death and dying, you are not going to come in and make a lot of jokes. It would be inappropriate and it would be offensive. Consider that. But smile, be comfortable with what it is you are sharing, and your audience will respond in kind. So I promise to give you some things that will help you to improve, help you to clear your palate, do a little bit of mindset reset first so that you are clear on what it is you want to say. And then use those 5 tips to improve the presentation, to improve your public speaking so that your customers are pleased with what you're bringing to the table. Now, if you want to find me, you can go to my website at www.christineaharper.com. And there you'll find information about our Aspiring Speakers program, which is a small group program to help professionals improve their public speaking. But also we have an accelerated individual program called Find Your Voice. And that takes you through several additional steps about not only improving your presentation, but finding the true message, finding the voice inside of you that's waiting to get out. Thank you for your attention today, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.